Takozani, ke otata, khosatsana ya barakile. I'm coming to you with another energy focused for the week. It's a 3-card spread. The first card is going to give us the energy that we're starting the week with. The second card is going to give us the obstacles that we can expect. The third card is going to give us the opportunities for the week. The first card is the is it a 6? 7. It's a 7 of cups. The cup suit is represented with it's associated with emotions. It's also about emotions, your creativity, relationships, intuition, and spiritual matters. The 7 of Cups is about, it basically symbolizes one's dreams, illusions, choices, and wishful thinking. We see here there's 7 different cups that are floating in the clouds. Each cloud contains a symbol like jewelry, a castle, a snake, a dragon, and so forth. It suggests a time where one is presented with different opportunities which can be great, but it also warns us against fantasies and the energy of procrastination. You need to basically discern with all these opportunities that you'll be presented with and all these creative ideas that you have. You need to basically discern between what can be reality and what is an illusion, you know, with all these opportunities that you are presented with. Evaluate these ideas very carefully and then take actions on the ones that are more real. Yes, that's the energy for the week. The second card represents the obstacles. The obstacles card is the Knight of Pentacles. Pentacles are about all things worldly and material. They're associated with the earth element. And the Knight of Pentacles is about practicality, reliability, hard work, and patience, amongst other things. Unlike other knights, this one moves very slow and steadily. You know, he doesn't just rush into it. He's very slow, cautious, and steady in his approach. Looking at this card as an obstacle for the week, it's basically warning us of challenges which might arise due to a slow pace of progress in what we are doing, a bit of stubbornness between us and what we are doing, or being overly cautious with how we move, you know, that thing of, you know, that I must do this, but you're afraid of taking that risk and all that. Even though you've done the due diligence to ensure what your risk appetite is, yet you are still cautious of moving. So that's that type of night, and it's basically a warning to basically say, move, you know, take that leap of faith. Things will not just happen because you have an idea and it's great. You know, there are risks involved in everything that you do. Even walking outside of your house and going to work is a huge risk. You could get hit by a bus, how to another N1 or something like that. Like, you could die before you even reach your workplace. So everything is a risk. You could fall in your house, hit a corner, yeah, something that's sharp, and boom, you are dead, or you've got an injury that you didn't expect. So there's a risk in everything. All you need to do is to ensure that you do all the checks and balances are done, the due diligence is done, you know what your risk appetite is, and take action. Nothing happens unless you move, and all the goals require you to perform an action for them to become real. So being too cautious sometimes is it's a detriment to your own growth. It's a detriment to your own pace. Take those risks, whether it's in your love life, whether it's in your career goals, progression, whether it's in your personal development. Register for that hard cause. Who knows, you might just be that one person that has that qualification in your region, that makes you, or I don't know, in your region, and then you are basically that unique, and everybody requires that skill from that course. Just like how it was when MBA started. People were not really into doing it, but once you did it and you were amongst the few, then you would have had options as to how big you want your pie to be and where you want to have this pie. So take a risk. The final card is the 10 of Wands. Yeah, it's 10. The 10 of Wands. The Wands suit, I think, it's associated with the fire element. Yeah, it's about passion, your willpower, taking action, and your personal energy, basically. So then, the 10 of Wands specifically symbolizes one feeling very overloaded with responsibilities, commitments, and hard work. Like, you've been through it. Everything is weighing heavy on you, yes. And this in turn brings feelings of pressure, exhaustion, and being weighed down, Jane. Yes, the energy of the card is daunting, it's draining. But if you look at it as a positive, as an opportunity, you have successfully completed a cycle, because here you are carrying all your wands. Yes, you're drained. Yes, you're tired. Yes, it's a lot, but you've done what needs to be done. You've successfully finished the project. You've successfully completed a cycle. You've successfully completed a goal that you had set for yourself. And through this strenuous process of you getting all your wands, you have learned valuable lessons that you can apply to your next projects, to the next cycle that you're about to start, because this is the wheel just keeps going around. You complete one project, you achieve one goal, another one is already waiting. So for the next cycle, going into your next cycle, just reassess what these burdens are. Remove ones that can be removed, and delegate what can be delegated to someone else. And also set boundaries. Set boundaries, because some of the things that we are carrying that are weighing heavy on us, it's because we are not very strong with our boundaries, where we are not very strong with our no's, whether it's at work, whether it's with your friends, whether it's with your family. You overcommit yourself to things that it's going to be a burden on me. I'd rather be sleeping in on this Sunday morning instead of meeting up for brunch. I'd rather reserve this energy instead of going and working at a family function. But because I can't say no, I'm going to carry this burden, which means I'm going into my work week drained. Things like that. So put boundaries where boundaries need to be put, delegate what needs to be delegated, and remove what is really not necessary on your plate in the next cycle. yeah, it's a very beautiful week, I think. Yeah, it's a very beautiful week personally for me. I'm starting a new chapter and I am excited about it. You know, it's one of those manifestations that I had in the beginning of the year that have panned out, and yeah, it's loading. So it's a good week nonetheless for me. Yeah, but I think the last card is mainly for me as well. It's personal for me in that I need to reassess and ensure that I don't carry the previous burdens from my cycle into the next one. With that said, I wish you guys a beautiful week. I wish you guys, yeah, may you check everything in your boxes. May the week be, you know, that week of ease where you don't have to really struggle for much. When you go out, there's no traffic and all the robots open when you get to the stop. You know, it's probably a red robot that stops you tomorrow and the rest of the week. Have yourselves a wonderful week. Tell us that.